So I'm going to be playing Axis and Allies, which is something I sometimes do after a long day. And in the meantime, or while I'm playing, I will think out loud. So as you can see, I want to achieve a total victory, and I want to have it. Oh, no, I'm gonna play the Allies. This game is actually easier to win with the Axis, in my opinion. So hearts, and I will be controlling the allies. So today I taught several classes, and then I had a talk with Moshe, this new friend I have, let's say, even though I've never met him. He is a teacher in Jerusalem, more than a teacher actually. He runs his own school, and he teaches 120 girls. He told me today that they take a gap year, and then for 1 year they study at his school, and if I'm not mistaken, they learn about Jewish culture and their heritage, I think. So here you can see me attacking Ukraine, which may be a very controversial thing to do, and I've made a small mistake. I want two fighters. I want my entire Russian Air Force to attack Ukraine. In the past, I never did this. I always focused all my forces on this part, but I like to take out this German fighter here, even though this is going to be very costly and it could even fail. And in the case it fails, at least I want to keep those two fighters. But if it goes right, then Germany will be down one fighter, which is 1/6 of its fighter force, and I like that. Sending those here, and these are gonna go there to slow down the Japanese. So here they would be vulnerable. Sometimes Japan doesn't attack them, but eventually they do attack. So you can send American fighters and one British fighter eventually to support them, but they always lose, almost always lose. So I'm gonna do that. So let's see how this goes. Start with Ukraine. Okay, it's going really well. That went a little bit better than it usually does. Usually, what most often happens is that I get to keep two tanks, maybe one tank, but this is a little bit better. And this also went really, really well. So now I put these two fighters here because, okay, I leave this open, but I don't mind. And this tank can now not successfully attack there. If I would be playing against a human player, I don't know if I would do the same thing because human players take way more risks, and it's not something I would ever do probably to go up against those two fighters with one tank. But if you take a lot of air power with you, you could win, but I don't see the point. And luckily for me, the AI also doesn't see the point. Well, actually, I wouldn't mind if the AI did it. I just know the AI won't do it. It would actually not be such a great idea to do it. But I wouldn't like it in a way because I'm like emotionally attached to those two fighters, but wouldn't be such a terrible thing if the AI tried it. But as you will see, the AI will not attack this. So let's see. These we place here. Also one tank. Why do I place the infantry here? Because then they are useful here immediately if I want to attack, and those tanks can move further. So if the Germans recapture this, but it goes kind of badly for them, I want to attack them. I want to counterattack, and then I need that infantry here and not here. So that's why I'm placing my infantry there. And for people not familiar with Axis and Allies, these are the only two spots where I can place new troops, because you see these factories here. That's where I can put them. So let's move on. The Germans will attack this, and they will most likely win. They will take this, and they will destroy this battleship. To calculate. Today I also had a birthday party for my son. He turned 4 a couple of weeks ago, but he was ill, so we had to postpone his birthday party. So we finally did that. So there goes the battleship. Bye-bye, battleship. Well, doesn't hit anything. Not that bad, but it's always nice if something gets killed there on the German sides. So not today. And I have restless leg syndrome, and that is making my camera shake. So here with the Russians, I always buy the same. I exceptionally buy only infantry with Russia, or one fighter and I think two tanks, then one tank, no, one tank. Yeah, one tank and the rest infantry. But you saw me make my most typical purchase with the Russians. So with the British, I can get kind of creative, and today I feel like getting troops on land as soon as possible. So I'm gonna do this one. There are many varieties here. Gonna do this, and just an infantry. Gonna keep the one. It's not my. This really varies. So here I don't always do the same thing. Well, I never always do the same thing, but with the Russians, I tend to do the same thing. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna occupy Norway. Usually goes well. I saw it go wrong once, so you never know. It's definitely possible. It can go wrong, and I prefer to attack these, but he exceptionally, well, not so exceptionally, he doesn't always attack this. What is it? Destroyer. But now he did. But I actually prefer to take out these guys and not these guys. So even though I don't have the destroyer, I'm gonna do it. I should win that, but never know. Then here it took me a very long time to come up with what I'm about to do now. This fighter can attack this submarine and land on this carrier, which kind of beefs up this fleet. And sometimes, rarely does Japan attack this fleet, but if you add the fighter, it doesn't attack the fleet if you kill the submarine, but that's 50-50. There's a 50-50% chance there. These guys I load onto the transports. I move them here. These go with them. Against a human player, I might consider not to do this, or to at least put a fighter on that carrier. But Japan never attacks here if you do this. So, and here I'm doing this. And what I want to accomplish is that the Germans attack me here, they win, but then all their forces are there. They won't have this fleet anymore, I suppose. So I will win Africa I will control Africa from the second turn. So that's the whole point. So by the way, if I'm going to make a mistake, I'm not gonna go back. I will keep playing. I will then explain what the hell I did wrong. So yep, that's all my moves. These guys are gonna stay here. Japan never attacks here, even though it could. Maybe a human player would, but even against a human player, I would leave it like this. there's the AI or Japan, the Japanese player, needs to put in fighters to get India to conquer it, and there's always a chance that this anti-aircraft gun takes down some fighters in the process. It's not a big there's not a big chance, but it's worth it to leave them there for now. So what I'm expecting is that I take over Norway. This should go well. I hope to not lose my fighters, and I definitely hope not to lose the bomber. And those are yeah. And here, of course, I like it when this submarine dies. There's no risk here for me. That submarine cannot fight back. So juicy target, and it can then just land on this carrier. If the submarine dies, then this fleet is entirely safe. If it doesn't die, there's some chance that Japan attacks. All right, so of course I do aerial, coastal bombardment. So let's see, boom. Yep, got it. Lose one fighter. And the submarine is on the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. My bomber goes back, and these two fighters land here. If I would be playing against myself, this would not have been possible because I almost always occupy Gibraltar to make this impossible. Like I need Gibraltar to land my fighters. So without Gibraltar, I would have attacked this fleet. So that's it. The fighter landed there. So now I add two transports there, and this goes there. There's a tiny chance that Germany could attack with this transport and two ground troops and its some of its air force, but not like this. There's no chance. So we go to the Japanese player. The Japanese player will attack here and will most likely win. The Japanese player will also occupy this and submarine. So let's see what happens. Yeah, there we go. And yep, that's gone. Chinese infantry taken out, but that's quite common. Right. So I used to do something very different with America, but now I always do this. 4 transports, 2 infantry, 1 artillery, bam. I won't be attacking anything. These guys go back. This is lost anyway. I can leave this open because Japan doesn't have a tank, so it can't blitz or all down that way. Right, so here we're going to beef up our defenses here, shore up our defenses. Yep, there and there. Alaska should now be pretty safe. I like to do this, but it's not very necessary. I moved 1 infantry from Midway to the west coast. And this is a large aircraft carrier, so that bomber is gonna go over there. And these guys are going to land in North Africa. And the Germans will either attack here or there sometimes, but that's rare. They do nothing, and that's what I don't like. I hope that they will do something there. That's it. So I will place my transports here. You have many options. You could do something totally different, but I choose to do this. It's sort of my favorite strategy right now. So now we go back to the Russians. I get 1 tank and 8 infantry. Boom. And we're going to skedaddle here. Bye bye Japanese. Not staying. Even leaving one guy behind because only this tank can attack here, and Japan is not going to do that. All right, we send 3 infantry there and 1 fighter, 3 infantry here and 1 fighter. And I'm gonna probably also take out these 2 tanks. I'm gonna send the artillery, 1 infantry, 1 infantry, 1 infantry. This is a little bit overkill, but I want them. So like this, and already do my friendly moves. That's a bit of a risk. Because if I lose here, those 5 tanks could then waltz through here if I lose this. So you'll see that submarine is now going back in the unlikely case that these attack, but I don't think so. No, probably not. Let's see how this goes. Belarus, bam. Ukraine, bam. Okay, not bad. I know these guys are lost, but it's worth it. There. And momentum there. In case I want to use them against the Japanese, you know. And that's it. And for infantry there, that's the maximum I can put there. And the rest goes here. There we go. Just 3 of them. And we'll either conquer this or this. And if things go exceptionally well for me, Germany will attack here and lose all its ground troops. But that sometimes happens. Aha, he chose to attack the Americans. So sometimes he's very successful at that. You see, I'm losing those 3 areas. Ah, he lost all his ground troops in that attack. Thank you. Thank you. Come again. Right. So that's pretty good. Now we're going to destroy this little fleet. And then Germany will have no more fleet for the rest of the game. Most likely. Unless I really mess up. I think so. Let's focus on ground troops. So I don't need to do this. There are other strategies, but today I opt to focus on ground troops with the British. So I'm gonna do this and this and this. I'm not going to move my fleet into this because I didn't buy any extra ships. And these 4 fighters and the bomber could then destroy my fleet. Maybe. That wouldn't be a sure thing, but could happen. Because I'm using my Air Force, most of my, I'm using all my Air Force here. Attacking here would be very risky. So I choose to add my ground troops in defense of Norway. If I could conquer this, then I don't have to defend Norway anymore. If this fleet goes to the bottom. Well, we'll see. So now I unite what I got here up like this. With only 1 infantry here, he's not going to attack that. I can all go up. Excellent. That fighter I would like to have here, then he could land on this carrier. This British infantry leave there because I won't bother sending a transport to then eventually pick it up here. Not worth it. Yep, that looks about okay. Up. 1 fighter lost. Those fighters can now land there. It's a risk because, oh well, the Russians could take care of that and these are totally safe. And that one has a lot of movement. So now that bomber can pretty much help on any front. Yup. Let's go. So these guys go here, and I will have a little bit more to spend next time. So the Japanese and this area uh, probably won't be crazy enough to attack Alaska now. So that was Japan. And with America, I'm just gonna buy more transports because I want to invade Japan, the mainland, the main islands. Right? Up, up, up. These guys, these guys are going to roll into Libya. Could decide to try and kill that submarine, but I want to be absolutely sure I get Libya. You never know. And these are going to go back to the Pacific. And these two guys prefer keeping them. Gonna keep them. And yeah, I'm okay with this. So let's see. Okay. All misses on the first run, so sometimes it's important to send that bomber. I'm doing this now. Might not do that with a human player because a human player could send those bombers against me there, and I defend on my bomber defends really poorly on a 1, and bombers attack on a 4. So I would probably try to attack there, but the AI doesn't do that. So maybe against a human player, I would have opted to land there, but not every human player would do it. So okay, more transports, a little bit of infantry, and back to the Russians. The Russians have now 30, which is a lot for the Russians. So 3 tanks and 5 infantry. Again, you can make different purchases. You know, I now split my purchasing power in infantry and tanks, but you don't have to do that. So now I have to think a little bit. I could definitely take out Ukraine. I could try to take out boats. Could I take out boats? I actually think I could, but it's risky. Let's be risky. So these are gonna attack there. Those 2 fighters and a tank. And let's give them 1 more infantry. I'm not so sure how this is gonna go, so I don't make my other moves. I could even try to also get this area, but let's not be overconfident. No, that wasn't that great. So now, but I'm facing an interesting choice. Do I take over Ukraine, but then I need to lose a fighter because I need ground forces to take Ukraine, or not? And I'm gonna go with yes. And I didn't see that there are 2 tanks there. Do I want to remain? Oh, what the fuck? Okay, that didn't go, and that goes really well. Okay, so I didn't do my other moves because I didn't really know for sure how that was going to go. 1 infantry there, 3 infantry there. Like this wasn't great. I admit, it was definitely not that great. and because I didn't even look at what was going on, I didn't abort early enough. Well, that makes it interesting. So I'm not gonna do anything to make me lose this game. Like this, and I leave only one in each area. All right, for infantry and tanks here. So we'll probably lose this area, but it's possible if he sends all his tanks and his air force, but he doesn't. He doesn't even take this area, which surprises me a little bit. It's not that bad what he did. So, as I said, I was going to go for ground forces with the British. So this, and now we have options. We could take over Western Europe, but we wouldn't be able to keep it. And what we could also do would be to put everything here, because if we send our fleet here or here, it becomes vulnerable. So let's not do that. We do this. So all of them go there. Yep. That should make the place safe. And here we have interesting options. One infantry goes there, another infantry. Now I want the tank and another infantry. Two infantry go there. I have that bomber now. Can go wrong, but let's see. Now we attack here. By the way, I'm playing this game to get my mind off all the kids dying in Gaza and other horrendous shit happening in our world. As you can see, it's not completely off my mind. I do feel kind of guilty for playing a game in this world when there's so much to do, or I could be doing so much to make this world a better place, but maybe somebody watching this finds some value in it. Yeah, I got that. And yep, that was the plan. So this is pretty good. So England now has +4. This is worth +4. It's not bad. And that bomber is going back. I could also put it here, but prefer it's a reflex to try and keep a bomber safe. Here I didn't do it as I explained, but I don't like that. I'm only doing it because I feel relatively safe because the AI tends not to do this. And as it's, I guess, yeah, everything there. Sometimes I buy. You can also buy a factory. So sometimes I buy a factory here. Um, in the early stages of learning to play this game, I really like to buy factories, but I don't do that anymore. So Japan will take this area back, will attack at least one of these areas, and might win probably. Don't really see any other area Japan could take now. Definitely this area. Something here. Yeah. He attacked the submarine but missed, so it's submerging. Yeah, so he did take this, but no, not such a problem. So I did fuck up with the Russians a little bit here, but certainly not a fatal mistake. Do I want more transports? What's the situation? gonna say no. Then artillery. So you can see I'm preparing for an invasion of Japan. There is, of course, Japan's capital, and then Japan can no longer collect income, can no longer buy anything, so that's what I'm counting on. And now I can go and attack that submarine, but it has very little value at this point. I mean, strategic value. It costs 8, but this is more interesting. So these two guys, which I spared, are now going to help the Russians a little bit. Hopefully. Yeah, that was okay. And an artillery. There we go. The Russians. So as you can see, I buy some tanks and some infantry. Now it's only one tank again because I messed this up. But as you can see, nothing serious. So this one is going to look for protection there. 1, 2, 3, and a tank. 1, 2, 3, and a tank. And let's see how that goes. I got it. And I got it. So I moved it more centrally. This tank is gonna go there. For infantry and the rest here. And what am I expecting? Those two areas will be lost. This looks pretty safe to me. Well, that's it. I really don't care about strategic bombing. You see that he uses his bomber to attack England, but I really don't care about that. If he had used that bomber here, he could also have taken that area with some forces from there. But all right. So again, ground troops and nothing else. I could take one infantry guy away. That's still a lot of ground troops. Let's do that. So that's more an intuitive thing that I'm doing because it just works out that way. One infantry less than a fighter. So better to spend what you have usually if you still get enough ground forces. Boots on the ground. Now a bit of a dilemma here. These guys can definitely take over Borneo, but then they will probably be attacked. But I guess I don't mind. Those two fighters will then join. Probably also that fighter. So I'm dooming that fleet if I take this. Do I do it? I could also block here, or even go all the way back. And can I get a fighter there? Yes. I might do that. Okay, I'm in a mood to save this fleet. And these are all going to go back also with the anti-aircraft gun. Attacking here makes no sense. So again, do we take France? Do we take France? Do we take France? We don't take France. And now we have to be really careful because now if I stay there with my fleet, my fleet can be attacked. And if I go here, my fleet can also be attacked. But I'm gonna risk it. That I'm gonna risk. It's worth it. So that's a lot. So no attacks. I could use my tanks to take Ukraine, but I prefer to let the Russians do it. Then the Russians get some income from Ukraine. Sounds really weird to be saying that in our current political context. And these are gonna go back. Okay. So they'll go back. I have no other spots to put no British guys, so they go there. And Japan, well, Japan will take India. Will probably take most of these this area and this area probably. Right. Yep. No. So the fleet. So my hopes of keeping this fleet. No. What I like about this is that it no longer has transports. And that means this is safe, and this is safe, and this is safe, and New Zealand is safe, and Japan is doomed. So, I'm going to be very confident here, and actually going to let them build to help out with the Germans. 5 transports, and those are going to go there. This could blow up in my face, but we will see. All these board, and these. Yep. I might even put one transport there to pick up those 2 guys. And up. So I'm in a position to attack Japan in the next round. And don't think I will use those 2 fighters there anymore. So I'm gonna transfer them slowly. And what can I do here? Let's again help the Russians there. And those are gonna go there. Oh, okay. All right, that went well. Tank is doomed now, but it relieves some pressure on the Russians. That was the whole goal. So 1 transport there and 4 there. That submarine can attack them, but they defend on a 1. The submarine attacks on a 2. And it's 4 transports versus 1 submarine. That should be safe. I don't think the AI will do that. And 28 is pretty good for the Russians. So 2 tanks, 6 infantry. Like I mentioned at the start of the game that I have some emotional attachment to the 2 fighters the Russians have. And yeah, that's true. So this hurt, as you probably noticed. Right, so I have to think a little bit. Definitely want to again attack Ukraine. Yeah, maybe not. If I don't do it, there's a risk he takes all his tanks and these 3 infantry to attack Caucasus. Hmm. It's not going to be good for Russia, but will help the overall situation with this. And those 2 are just going to stay there. Hmm. That went fine. Now we could add this anti-aircraft gun here, but the Germans are gonna attack here, and they will probably win. And then they have my anti-aircraft gun, and maybe they don't even shoot down any planes. I'm not gonna do it. Are you sure you don't want to move? Yes. So like this. Moscow is safe. A human player might actually take Moscow with this. See, I can always add some British forces there if I don't feel great about the situation after the Germans run. So I'm expecting to lose here. Yeah. He didn't attack my fleet, and I'm happy about that. Yeah, that's not great. Okay. What I like very much is that this bomber is now going to die, and a bomber is very expensive. And he's also made sure that I can move my fleet here without being attacked. So I don't need to buy ships. Do this. Those are now gonna go there. And bonjour la France. We are there. Nous sommes là. And then we're going to attack this area and this area. And are we going to retreat again here? That we will. So, but we are going to take out these two areas without the tanks. The tanks are going to protect Caucasus. So this loss is not going to lead to the loss of the Caucasus. Caucasus. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that fighter. And that fighter. And that bomber. And I guess the rest will stay there. Yes, the rest will stay there. I'm gonna add 1 infantry and 1 infantry. It's a little bit overkill, but okay. So there we go. Bam. And bam. Oh, that bomber dying is nice. Up. Up. Bit of a risk to put it there, but okay. Up. Yep, looks good. Up. And Japan. So Japan has no more transport. We're not going to see much action when it comes to islands. He will take this area, this area. And my nightmare is that he takes Moscow, but he doesn't. I would have done that. Like, that's the difference between playing against the AI and a human player. You know that the AI is calculating and how it calculates, kind of. So now we're going to take Japan, and then things are gonna go south for the axis. So I have 4 transports. That's my okay. So let's do that. I'm not sending in the fighters because then I risk losing them, and I prefer not to. These are gonna port and go there. These will have to wait for the new troops to be placed. And these guys who've walked all over the place are gonna attack here with that lovely bomber. I don't like to buy bombers, but I like to keep the ones I already have at the start of the game. So, bye-bye Japan. That was a very cheap victory. I'm sorry to the mothers of those 2 infantry guys, or 2 infantry divisions. That's a lot of mothers, sorry. Bad joke, bad joke, bad joke. Bomber, All this war in the world is making me a little bit cynical. And those are gonna go there and there and the Russians. So the Americans now also got the income of the Japanese, so they have a lot of money now. Boom. That's easy. So definitely not gonna attack here, but I'm gonna defend Caucasus, and I don't know how to pronounce that actually. And that one infantry can stay there. And now we can also do something about the Japanese. So the Japanese can no longer replace their losses, which is really great to know. Can this area that I don't know how to pronounce be attacked successfully? No. So, but I have to be careful that I don't uh, lose Moscow, because then we're in for a long game. That should do it. We will see. Yep. All right. I don't want to move at 4 infantry. And this goes there. 22 is not a lot for the Russians. I'm expecting to lose these 3 areas and France. Yep. Mhm. Mhm. But I didn't lose this area. Not bad. Right. So now we have a bit too much cash to just buy ground troops. So I could buy a bomber now, but I prefer not to. I'm gonna buy a factory because the British have a lot of cash now. And we're going to, yeah, we're going to take back France. Why not? Maybe I should have bought some ship here to make it safe against from the German Air Force, but all right. And yeah, everything we got, but that bomber is gonna help here. All right. Yep, that we got. That we got. And that should go well. And it did go well. So, any mistake again, or a bit of an oversight to keep this fleet completely safe. I could have bought an aircraft carrier, and this fighter would have been able to land on that aircraft carrier. Oh well. No, this one, no. And that one is going back, I guess. So the Japanese, and as I said, they can't replace losses anymore. So even successful attacks where they lose guys doesn't get them anything in the end. Lose anything there? So what you've just seen Japan lose is not gonna come back. And I'm really enjoying the fact that they don't have transports, because now all these guys are stuck on their islands. So This is the maximum I can get out of Japan, or the maximum I can place in Japan. I'm gonna have one transport extra there, so I'm gonna fill it up with that. Up, one more, one, one. Okay, like this. So I'm gonna put one transport there to not make this complicated. Go back. Yeah, otherwise I have to select which ones are going, the full ones or the empty one. And these are gonna go there. Now, even those American fighters could have landed on that carrier. And then here we can storm the place like this. That's ours. We're going to port one. Okay. You see, losing your capital, like the worst thing that can happen. That's a lot of lost areas. I doubt I will be able to retake them. This is still a pretty powerful fleet because they have two battleships. So I need to think a little bit. Don't mind potentially losing a few transports. So I'm gonna go do this. That should be successful. Okinawa, it's only 1 point, but it's worth it, I think. So one is, I don't know, and the rest can go there. All right. Anything else? Don't think so. We can move that bomber here to maybe help operate against this fleet, or maybe even to act as some kind of deterrent. Borneo is ours and fairly won, to quote General Tecumseh Sherman when he took Atlanta. I think that's when he said it. Atlanta is ours and fairly won. Or Savannah is ours and fairly won. Atlanta, I think. Should check. So these two fighters land here. Yep. And we add the maximum we can here. And the rest goes there. So that works out nicely. 4 tanks for 4 transports plus 4 infantry. All right. There we go. The best parts of my day, actually, I had a really good day. I enjoyed the 2 classes I had, and I of course enjoyed the birthday party with my son. Lots of kids came over, also the neighbors, some friends, and this talk with Moshe you can watch. Uh, yeah, some doubts there. We talked about if Israel is an apartheid state. I've always labeled it like that, and Moshe had some convincing arguments as to why Israel is not an apartheid state. So, it's on my mind. Mm, he's probably right that Israel itself is not really an apartheid state, but the way it treats Palestinians outside of Israel is like apartheid to me, except that those Palestinians are not citizens of Israel, and then it becomes complicated or almost impossible for me to say that they are subjected to apartheid, since in my mind, apartheid is something that a country can only do or inflict upon its own citizens. But then you could say that Israel is responsible for those Palestinians because they occupy them, and if you occupy a country, you become responsible for that civilian population. So it's maybe more a semantic and technical discussion. I will maybe write him on WhatsApp and ask an additional question. Right, so back to the game. So 2 tanks for infantry. Been doing this the whole game with the Russians. Bit of tanks, bit of infantry. I'm gonna let the Germans have these 2 areas. Not gonna let them have Ukraine. Going to this tank is doomed, but I get 3 points for it for 1 round. And I think the Russians are gonna have to be a little bit aggressive now. I'm gonna take over this. Maybe also this. I should definitely take this. That should do it. And that should do it. Could go wrong. We'll see. Persia is ours, and what's now probably Kazakhstan, is also ours, or there are many countries in that area right now. Yeah, we got it. So, yes, I'm sure. Moscow is safe. Worst case scenario, these guys die. Ukraine seems to be a very contested area. Then the Germans could take this, and potentially even this, and this, and this. We're not done with Germany yet. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. That went fairly well for the Germans. No, they're doomed. There's no way they can win now because they've lost their Japanese ally. Now we're using this factory so we can buy more ground troops than before, and we're now going to keep doing the same. We're going to take France back. Nous sommes de retour. We're back. And bomber is gonna help. We don't have ground troops here. So again, having a carrier there could have helped. It's probably because I'm talking about other stuff that I keep forgetting to buy that carrier. No, let's keep them there for now. Well, still no. So 3 tanks and the rest here. I'll let the Americans attack here. That could go wrong, but we can afford to make some mistakes and be risky because Japan is gone. So, well, not gone, but there's no return from their situation. They lost a fighter, I like that. That went really well for them. It's gonna go bad for them now. As I mentioned before, they can't replace losses at all anymore. So let's see. That makes two. That here I know I have a capacity for six, so I take six tanks. And this is a total sign that I know that I'm winning, because otherwise I would never buy these luxury items, two bombers. Let's try. It's not certain I will win there. Taking a bit more risks now, because kind of feel like the thing is over. Up. Take India there. We will probably kill those transports now, but we don't really need them anymore. So, can I attack this? No, I can't. Nah, not really. No. Back, back, goes back, um, back. He's also going. He can also attack these. Oh, but there won't be any more ground troops there, so don't really need these transports anymore. So let's attack this. Like that. So this. Now I'm being lazy actually, because oh, let's not be lazy. Come on. I'm gonna undo one move. I have time, so why not? Let's undo one thing. Up. Let's move them back now. Okay. Gonna add a bit of force here. Right. I'm expecting all those attacks to be successful, and then we will have wiped out most of Japan's ground forces. There we go. Boom. Boom. Bye bye China. Well, bye bye the Japanese in China. We got them. Yep. Up. So it's round 7. And this thing won't last too long anymore. Here, 3 tanks. 3 tanks there. And 2 bombers. Because they can reach the western front. So now I only take tanks. I don't need to move in here, because Russia doesn't get those 2 points, so it's not necessary. Attacking here is crazy because they have 5 fighters, so that's pretty strong defense. We are going to destroy this pocket. Yes, we are. We're gonna do that like this. Prefer to attack the Germans, but I really need to take these out. And bye bye. And now the tanks there. Don't think they will be able to take this area. They might be able to take this area, this area. They might take over this area and maybe even this area. You will see. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna lose some areas, that's for sure. Ooh, we lost the fight. I like that. Oof, we lost a lot of ground forces. Oy, oy. And he didn't even manage to take Italy. Was not expecting that, so I'm guessing here I had quite a bit of luck. That may have been the best luck I've had in the game so far here. Not sure. Could go check the statistics or the records, the history. So again, ground troops. I don't think he will attack that fleet now because he lost that fighter. So attacking my fleet is, I think, no longer a viable option. So we go there and oui, mes amis, encore une fois. We are really reaching the last stages of this game. Bye bye. Really doesn't look good anymore for the Axis. This game allows you to check how much strength you have on the board. So right now the ratio is like 3-1, even it's a bit more than 3-1. So it's winding down. And oh, pretty okay with the speeds, and he's not letting me move to the next round because I didn't land these, but it's better to land them in Italy. The Americans now have a factory in the south of Europe, in southern Europe, so I can produce there, which is really good because America now has a lot of resources and is now far away from this factory. I can do something against the Germans with the Americans, but as I said, I was expecting to lose Italy. So now I can put 6 tanks there, for example, and the rest somewhere else, or I can go for those bombers, and I will choose bombers. Those bombers could, if I get enough of them, could eventually destroy this fleet, or they can help against the Germans pretty soon because they have such a range. Suppose I forgot to move these, so that was I don't remember. Maybe I forgot to move them. That would have that was then also a mistake. You see, I'm tired. I'm recording this for the very first time. All those attack there, total overkill, total overkill, but okay. Japan has been driven from the mainland. Do we for fun attack here? It's a little bit crazy. How many bombers? 3 bombers? Nah, that's too crazy. Like I would do it almost as a joke, but it's the first time I record this, so I don't want to do anything like really silly on purpose. So I've made some mistakes, but I haven't done anything silly on purpose. So I'm going over there, going there. You never know that they send. Could they send that bomber? 1, 2, 3. But against 4 transports, I wouldn't know. Those 3 tanks go there. I don't think they will ever reach the Germans before this thing ends. They are going over there. They're going here. And it's totally unnecessary to attack these two because the Japanese don't have transports. They don't, right? No, because sometimes I don't spot one transport and they can do annoying things, nothing major, but they can be annoying and not that they can ever win the war now. Okay, there we there we are. And I'm being kind of casual about what's going on, but when I started playing this game, I often lost, or it took me much longer to win with the allies. Yeah, so Russians only tanks now. Infantry risks not even reaching the battlefield anymore. The Germans are now going to be driven back very steadily. They won't be able to recapture these contested areas anymore. This infantry will not reach the front anymore, but you never know. It's like a reflex to move them closer. Right. So that's it. Yes. You see, if this were infantry that I'm adding, they're not gonna do much anymore. I will have 34 to spend in the next round. That's a lot for the Russians. Yeah, France is gone again. Or not? Oh yeah. That was a very desperate move on the part of Germany. And I think we're ready to finish this. So, like I said, the strategy with the British was ground troops. If I ever do this again, I mean recording a game, I might opt to do something else. I'm gonna throw everything against Hitler's nest. Wait, this we can add more time. We're gonna need everything now to have a chance. I'm expecting that the British will lose this battle, I mean, not the war. So let me quickly check what I'm sending. So yeah, that's not enough to win this, but then the Americans can attack. If I did forget to do this, then that's stupid because they could have maybe helped in the battle for Berlin. I wasn't paying that much attention, so maybe I didn't forget, I don't know. So expecting to lose here. Alright, I didn't. It's over. That was it. It's how I play Axis and Allies. I'm sure there are different strategies. I have different strategies. I chose this strategy today. I'm gonna play until it says that you've won, uh, just out of curiosity to see what Japan will do. They can't do anything anymore, basically. Maybe no, they had no options. So now I don't care anymore. So quickly 5 bombers, because then I don't waste time placing them. If I have too many purchases, I need to spread them out. 5 bombers I can place in one location. That's it. That's over. Total victory. Do you want to continue? No. And what I do is I save this allied victory. How many rounds was it? 9 rounds. So this is how many times I won in 9 rounds. And then I write some comments. Troops with the UK, and then that implies that the rest was standard. That's it. I have no idea who watched this from A to Z, but if you did, thank you, and I hope you learned something. Or if you think there's a much faster way to win, please let me know. Take care.